Procrastination is something that we all suffer with, but it doesn't have to be that way. I've suffered with procrastination throughout most of my life, even up until April of this year. But now, in June, I can successfully say that I've beat procrastination. And there was a lot of work that went into it. So I'm going to share with you what I did to successfully beat procrastination. It was really reading the book Deep Work by Cal Newport that really opened my eyes. It gave me a new sense of awareness that most of my work was shallow work. I never really tapped into working deeply and focusing on the task completely. My attention was scattered. It wasn't simply on the task. There were so many things on my mind. And sadly, that's how most people do their work. We have so many distractions nowadays that it's so hard to focus on, and we get distracted so easily. Now, I haven't completely finished reading the book, but it's had a profound impact on my work. So let's get into it. First, you have to understand concentration is like a muscle. The more and more you work that concentration muscle, the longer you can work deeply for. You want to keep training your concentration so that you can work deeply for longer. Now, this is probably why you clicked on this video. And now I'm going to give you 7 practical tips that you can use to completely cure your procrastination. Do you know what the single greatest thing that distracts us in our day-to-day lives is? It's our phone. And I clocked this about a year and a half ago, how much I was actually getting distracted by my phone. I clocked how many hours I was spending on my phone instead of actually living my life. Hours of our time I spent on this tiny little device, and I knew that had to change. So I gave my phone a complete makeover. So the first thing I did was make my phone black and white. If you're on an iPhone, you can go to accessibility settings and change it to grayscale. That'll make your phone black and white. I also deleted all my social media apps. Nowadays, I only have LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and messages on my phone. Even YouTube, I only download in order to upload my videos, but that's about it. I delete it as soon as I'm done. I download Instagram and TikTok once in a while, but the time I spend on those apps is negligible, basically nothing. I also have my phone on Do Not Disturb all the time. Basically, no call comes to me. And no one can really be asked to call me anymore either, because I never pick up their calls. And I don't really mind that. Just imagine the scenario. You're concentrating deeply on the work you want to do, and suddenly you get a ring from your friend. Your focus and attention is scattered. You've lost your concentration. And God knows if you'll actually get back to the work again. How many times have you disrupted your day-to-day activities to pick up your phone? You just lose consciousness of what you're actually doing just to go pick up that phone. I've decided that's not for me. If I see a call on my call list, it'll be when I want to check my call list. When I check my call app, that's when I call someone back. And I have a dedicated time for that. So make sure that it doesn't eat into the time that I've set aside for work. I'll be honest, the situation might be different for you. You might be getting important calls, and that's completely fair. Personally, I don't really get in any important calls, so it's not really an issue for me. This app is a lifesaver, Opal. I got this when I switched to my iPhone. I don't think it's available on Android yet. Basically, I have this setting on Opal where I can only use distracting apps like WhatsApp, Messages, LinkedIn, and Mail between the time of 6:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. At all other times, they're locked. Now, sometimes I do find myself wanting to go on these apps for a specific purpose. Now, Opal doesn't completely block them. In order to mitigate the number of times I go onto these apps just by pure habit, Opal has this time setting where you can only go in the app after you wait a specific period of time to make sure that you have a valid reason for going onto the app. How many times do you find yourself just randomly clicking on Instagram? It's just by pure habit. You open the phone and your hands automatically moving onto Instagram. I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to reduce the impact of my irrationality on my life. So when I want to go on the app, I have to wait a specific period of time before I can access the app. This makes sure that I'm accessing the app for a valid reason. I'm only accessing the app because I need to. So Opal's been amazing. Now, what I don't get is why you still have notifications on your phone. Do you not have that basic self-respect where you open the app only when you feel like opening the app and not when some random notification pops up on the phone? How many times do you catch yourself clicking on a notification and spending more time on your phone than you are meant to be spending? Make this clear to yourself. You want to click on the app when you feel like clicking on an app, not when some random notification pops up on your phone. You see, you open your phone and there's notifications on. You see a text message and you're just thinking about that text message continuously until you actually go onto the app. It's running in your brain subconsciously. You're subconsciously thinking about it. Your attention is scattered. Your focus is distracted. How can you focus on your work when you've got so many things going on in your mind? So when I do find myself bored or something on my phone, I do something what I call is productive procrastination. Either I read the news or I play chess. The news is informing me of world events and it keeps me up to date with current affairs, which is also quite useful because I want to study economics at university. And I also play chess because I think it's good for my cognitive ability and strategic thinking. This is really what I did after reading the book Deep Work, and this was to make sure that my work environment was simply for working. So when I'm sitting on this chair, I make sure that I'm doing some kind of work. And my desk back there, I make sure that it's purely a place for work. So I make sure my workplace is tidy all the time and there's no distractions, there's no clutter. I've blocked all distracting apps using the same app Opal, it's a browser extension. So I can't go on YouTube, Gmail, stuff like that during the day. And if I do have a specific reason to go on certain apps like Gmail or YouTube, I make sure I'm not doing it on this chair because I want to associate this chair with studying. So I get off my chair and I basically sit on the floor and watch a video if I have to. And that's so uncomfortable, so I can't be asked to watch a video anyway. So it's a win-win. I've also used lots of browser extensions to make sure that if I go on YouTube, I'm not distracted by any recommended videos or comments or anything like that. I can't even see the thumbnail. So when I go onto YouTube, if I search something up, I can only see the title. No subscribers, no likes, no comments, nothing. I'm just clicking on the video purely because I want to click on the video. Not because they have an attractive thumbnail or anything. This way I'm not influenced by the random shit that comes up on YouTube nowadays. Now the third thing I've done is not listening to music. And this is coming from a time where I used to listen to music for 4 to 5 hours a day. So it's a massive leap, but I've really noticed profound impact. It's boosted my productivity so much. Music influences my emotions and make me think stuff that I wasn't even meant to be thinking about. And you're not actually focusing on the task at hand, especially for music with lyrics. How can you expect your mind to be able to focus on the task at hand whilst also being able to process the lyrics that are constantly going through your brain? It is killing your attention, it is killing your focus, and you can't be listening to music. That doesn't mean not to have any sound in the background. I recently bought a white noise machine and it's been a wonder. It's improved my sleep quality and it's improved my work quality. So what the white noise machine does is that it blocks out all background noise and my mind is accustomed to a certain frequency that's constantly playing. So it's just background noise. It's not influencing anything. And I can't really explain the science of it, but it just allows me to focus so much better. And if not for that reason, the reason why you should be getting it, particularly for those with loud households, like I do. So I really struggle to focus on my work at times. But this white noise machine has completely blurred out any background noise that might be happening in the house. So now this constant distraction from random sounds in the house is no longer present. And now that I got it, I noticed how much I was actually getting distracted by random sounds in the house. Now with this white noise machine, I'm in the flow state constantly. There's no distraction. And there's nothing to distract me from my flow of work. What I've also recently done is I've stopped eating breakfast. Now this isn't great for the gains and if you want to get your protein intake in, but I'm still managing to get my 100 grams of protein in. So I guess it's alright. The thing is, when you eat food, as soon as you wake up, there's that additional bit of concentration gone. The blood flow is redirected to your digestive system. Now what I mean by fasted state is I'm not completely fasting. I get way too hungry in the morning for that. But what I do is once I've done my meditation, gratitude journaling, and once I've gone on my run and I've planned my day, I come back with coffee and lemon water, and then I get some nuts, and I also eat like an apple or banana. Now I've heard nuts are really good at boosting concentration and they're really good brain foods. And I think my experience has really backed up that claim. So I really recommend you eating nuts in the morning. Fruits I just eat for some quick energy in the morning. And coffee, you probably know what coffee does, so there's no need for me to explain that. Now, not only intermittent fasting, I want you to also be eating nutrient-rich foods that improve brain performance. I'll link these down in the description below. I've also been consistently meditating for about 2 years now. Now I have to say, although I thought it was a bit wet at the beginning, it's actually been so useful for me in my day-to-day life. It's added so much awareness to my life, like I'm actually thinking about my actions. It's like I'm not living in third person anymore. What meditation does is it reverses that. You're in control of your mind and you know what you're doing. You're conscious. A lot of you are just governed by your emotions and you do what you feel like doing. One app I really recommend to get started with meditation is Medito. I don't use it anymore, but it was a great tool to get started with meditation. Last but not least, planning out your day. I cannot stress how important this is. You can implement all 6 of the other steps that I told you to implement, but if you don't know what you're doing, what's the use of it? You need to plan out your day. You need to know what you're doing. You need to have a goal and purpose to work towards to actually get the work done. So what you should do is plan out your week on your notebook or something. Personally, I plan it out on Google Docs. And then every single day, as soon as you wake up, I want you to go on Google Calendar and just plan out your day. I color code my day for specific tasks. For example, for working out, I use the green color, and for deep work, I use the purple color. Now, you can't follow this to the dot, obviously, but if you at least have a rough outline for what you want to do for the day, you have a much better chance of not procrastinating because you know what you want to do and you're gonna work to meet it. If you did find this video useful, I'm gonna ask for one tiny little favor from you. I'm gonna ask you to scroll down, like, and subscribe, because I'm gonna be leaving so much more value in the form of these videos for you. Thanks for listening.